world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, 'cause it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? I don't
Not
think so.
hardly. And you know, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
In my world, numbers are everything. But my most important stat, my sleep quality. It is vital to my mental, emotional, and physical performance. The new Climate 360 Smart Bed actively cools, warms, then effortlessly responds to me. Smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. And that means I'm at my best for me, my team, and you. And all I have to do is get game-changing sleep. Only from Sleep Number.
I find this very important, and I believe it's telling us something regarding what's coming. I believe we've witnessed a timeline marker here regarding the 7 years of tribulation. This is how I'm seeing it in my mind, and my spirit does witness to it because what I'm going to share with you has too coincidentally fallen into place that can only be attributed to a supernatural influence. Okay, so I'm just going to share it, and my hopes are that you may glean something. There's so many things, you guys, and, I'm just doing the best I can. We have this grain silo blow up in Turkey. Incidentally, that was the 8,000th day, exactly to the day, since 9/11/2001. And what came into my spirit immediately was the 8th day. Now, understand that the devil always mocks God. So when God says 1,000 years is but a day, the devil can just say 1,000 days is but a day. Meaning, we are now at the 8th day since 9/11, and it's the 8th day that the child is circumcised. The purification. Okay, this is important because 9/11 was a symbolic and quite literally a birth, spiritually and in our natural world manifested as the events of 9/11.
What's heaven?
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
No.
Why not?
You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. As long as AI is a threat, we will never stop hunting them. This is a fight for our very existence.
Whatever's in there, they're sure worried about someone getting in.
Yeah, we're getting out.
We're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Did you locate the weapon?
Yeah, it's a kid. Seatbelt.
What do you want with the child?
We are this close to winning the war. Execute her.
coming to get me.
So, 8,000 days since 9/11, and this silo in Turkey explodes, okay? 3 years and 3 days prior to that, you had the Beirut harbor explosion on August 4th, 1100 exactly days. Now think about this. 8,000 days since 9/11. 1,100 days since Beirut, Lebanon, which was 6,901 days after 9/11 at 6:09 p.m., which has been wiped from the internet more or less. They've gone in and changed the wiki page on it, and it no longer says 6:09, but we have the proof of the day of exactly what was being projected and said at that time. Period. The 23 Psalm at 9/11. The 46 Psalm at 9/11/2011 with Obama. And the 6,900 to the Beirut, Lebanon explosion. Remember, Lebanon is extremely important prophetically, okay? Lebanon means White Mountain, which is Mount Hermon, which is where they all made their oath back in the day. Where we go one, we go all.
Is this the match you wanted all along, or are you going to continue your terrorist attacks with one goal in mind, to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers?
And tear down the Twin Towers. The pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now, tonight, on prime time, yeah. Everybody knows that the Twin Towers are big, strong, high buildings. They may be earthquake-proof. They may be typhoon-proof. They may be tidal wave-proof. And you're going to see the Twin Towers come crumbling down, yeah.
For those that have read the headlines in the mainstream media news, Bray Wyatt, at the age of 36, has supposedly passed. And working for this company, WWE, as many know, as I covered many times in the past, is a Masonic company owned by Vince McMahon. Clearly you can see the 33 in plain sight in the turnbuckle as well. And here's a clear image of Bray Wyatt and the World Championship belt in the 33. And here's just more of the same with the 33 in plain sight. And that gets into the skit with Bray Wyatt himself and Daniel Bryan. And you see here in the top right, let's get a little bit of a close-up. And you see the Fox logo like I pointed out before. And how Fox is the 666 in plain sight. Like I mentioned earlier, the WWE logo. There's no E in the logo. So when you flip it around, you get your 33. And of course, live being evil in reverse. And what does this remind you of those that follow my channel? With my recent video on Hawaii, the 33 million raised. And again, the whole concept of live evil, now one, and also Fox. And I should mention as well the red and the blue color coordination. Red and blue equal purple. Just as you see here, again with Fox being 666. But nonetheless, getting back to this concept of reading things in reverse, just like you see here, again, make it more clear with things in reverse. Evil 1, 666 in plain sight. Now getting back to Bray Wyatt and the skit called Muscle Man, of course, MM for 33. Take a look here at all the symbolism that's playing. This is flashing very quickly if you watch the video. So I have stills of each clip. Literally, it's not even a second, and it just flashes past. So I'm spotlighting, of course, the all-seeing eye within the pyramid. More of the same with the pyramid and the lightning bolt symbolism. Baphomet's horns in the back. You see the pentagram, the star, and the G's, and all the other symbolism. And again, getting back to the whole idea of seeing things in reverse. Here's another example with believe. That's right behind them. And of course, the LIE in belief for lie in plain sight.
When it comes to The Undertaker and WrestleMania, a lot of people think about the streak ending at WrestleMania 30 with Brock Lesnar, but I was curious to ask Taker, why did he have to lose again to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33?
I want to ask you about WrestleMania 33 and what went into the plans of the loss to Roman Reigns, because I don't feel like that is given nearly as much attention.
I was extremely beat up. I had toyed with the idea of hanging it up. I knew it that year when I got to the Rumble, I wasn't going to be ready for Mania, but I'd already committed to the program. It was the right thing to do. You know, he was coming up. He was going to be the face of the company. The streak had already been beat, so it was the right thing to do business-wise. The hat and the coat, all that being placed in the ring was 100% legitimate, and that was my way of saying goodbye.
Here we go with the NWO making their way in. Let me say this, and I should mention, and that's great to see it.
Sure is. Great to see that justice was finally served by Turner Sports President Dr. Harvey Schiller last week, and Randy Anderson once again
And the B's being separated like a 13, but you have your 3, 3, 3 as well. So again, this is all by design. Make no mistake about it. More symbolism here with the 3 pyramids of Egypt, obviously. The all-seeing eye, and it says peace world, but more or less world peace. And basically this is all biblical, of course. And take a look here. What do you see? With Bray Wyatt, it's kind of hard to see what's behind him. And again, this flashes just momentarily. And when you get a closer look, this is the Bible verse from Revelation where it mentions the pale horse. So make no mistake about it, these people that are operating WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, which we'll get into a little bit later, as you see here, no doubt a Freemason. And as you can clearly see, again, the double 33s, one here, and again, live in evil reverse, all in plain sight. And to go along with the dual 33s, Vince McMahon was born Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So in the name, his first name and his middle name are the dual 33s.
It's just supernatural. It's all I can say. On 8/7, if you go back exactly 26 weeks, you'll land on 2/6. That 26 is a double 13. The 13 is the signature of those rebellious ones that came down on Mount Hermon. So it is coded throughout all the time. And this is for your eternity, folks. These people hunt the souls of men. You're not dealing with flesh and blood, okay? Now, this great awakening, this is all I see. Trump is up there on the 4th of July. At first, he's in front of Mount Rushmore. These immortal men. And this is the words that he uses. The giants, the titans, the legends, the immortal men who built this great country.
And it will soon be greater than ever before.
Do you understand? This is who they are. And this great awakening is nothing less than them telling you that they are here. They are coming into this natural world.
You know what? Sometimes what you leave out of a story is even more interesting than what you leave in. That happened when we were in Oxford, Maryland. Learned that the pride of that old town was one Robert Morris Jr., the financier of the American Revolution. Years ago, we used to go down to the county library and get a picture of a bird like that, but now we just use the internet. That's where I found this picture here. Now, the caption said it was a shot of the Greek god Mercury handing a bag of loot to Robert Morris, the financier of the American Revolution. Well, that's just a tiny part of a much bigger picture called the Apotheosis of Washington. Now, apotheosis is a Greek word that means to make divine. In other words, this painting shows George Washington becoming a god. Now, I never knew that happened. But there it is for all to see, painted under the most famous dome in the whole country, maybe the whole world, the United States Capitol. Now, the most interesting part of this particular heaven are the folks that live in it. Now, you'd expect to see Moses and Abraham and Ezekiel and that crowd hanging around, but not a single fella from the Bible's up there. Now, Minerva, the Roman goddess of crafts and wisdom, is shown delivering an electrical generator and batteries and a printing press to Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Morse, and Robert Fulton. And Neptune, the Roman sea god, and Venus, the goddess of love, are shown helping to lay the transatlantic telegraph cable. I'll bet you they were a big help. Now, there's some other gods, but not a single prophet, apostle, or even a lower archangel in the whole 4,500 square feet. All I know is what I read on the internet, but you hear a lot of talk these days about the religious beliefs of our founding fathers. Now, those boys may have been as devout as saints. We'll never know. One thing's for sure, you'd never tell by looking at Capitol Dome. Charles Paparella, WBOC News.
And Q is literally Legion. It is the great old ones working in the quantum field, just like Gordy Rose tells us.
So I received this message from the heavens. These things are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens.
They tell you everything. This great awakening is literally shown to us right outside of Washington, D.C., in Alexandria. The Great Awakening. This is literally called the Awakening. And this where we go one, we go all that I see everywhere is the literal oath sworn by the fallen angels on Mount Hermon.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
That we can read about in Enoch 6:4, the backwards 46, just like Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days. Let's look at Enoch 6:4. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered, verse 4, they all answered and said, Let us swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. And they swear, they all together,
Where we go one, we go all.
And bound themselves by this oath. And there were 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves to an oath upon it. Do you understand? Mount Hermon, Donald Trump just had a settlement named after him in the Golan Heights. In the shadow of Mount Hermon, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Isaiah 14:14. And they officialized this settlement on Trump's 74th birthday, June 14th, which just happened to be the month of Saban in the 22nd day. 3-2-2. None of this is an accident, and it's all coming upon us. This insurrection, this rebellion by these oath keepers, the fallen.
And definitely Vince McMahon and those in the WWE are fully aware of the movie They Live starring Roddy Piper. And what do you see here? Again, with Bray Wyatt right behind him, it says, consume, conform, all in plain sight. And what do you see here with the billboard behind Bray Wyatt? Conform. So again, it's clear as day. These people in the WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, who owns and controls all of it, is obviously a Freemason himself. And just take a look here for anybody that has any type of doubts with the 4 square compasses right behind Bray Wyatt. And here's a clip I played many years ago with Bray Wyatt and the reference to Flat Earth and obviously the Masonic upside down pyramid in plain sight. Take a listen to what it said here, all about Flat Earth, truth in plain sight.
People throughout your life will always lie to you. For instance, I bet your parents told you that the Earth is round. But have they actually traveled around the whole world? I don't think so.
He doesn't think so, with a smile on his face. And as I back up here a little bit, take a look at the audience. And these people have no clue. They're here for pro wrestling. They don't understand what is taking place right in plain sight, as they always do. Different TV shows, of course. Truth in movies, lies in news. In entertainment, they put the truth in music. They put the truth in the duality, the opposite end of things, where you expect the truth in the news, in school textbooks, but they slip the truth in entertainment.
How can I possibly sum up where we're at with the 2016 presidential race? Some think that Senator Lindsey Graham might have nailed it.
My party is going bat crazy.
Well, that's his description. Here's mine. What went on in Houston Thursday night gave me a flashback. Early 1970s, Saturday mornings, our family rec room. My brother and me on beanbag chairs watching pro wrestling. Bruno Sammartino, Haystacks Calhoun, Chief Jay Strongbow, and George the Animal Steel. Good guys versus bad guys, mudslinging and foreign objects. Well, guess who learned on those mats too?
Look at those divas. And you say that Trump is a prophet. I think that's spelled P-R-O-F-I-T. A big can of whooping. Hey, Vince. Hey, Vince. Bottom McMahon.
Yes, the classy Trumpinator. And so it was in Houston. Rubio and Cruz tag-teamed the villainous Trump. But their victory was short-lived because the Trumpinator pulled somebody else into the ring, thankfully not wearing tights. Former arch-rival Chris Christie was suddenly his sidekick. But can anything stop Trump's ascent before this episode of WrestleMania wraps up on Tuesday?
And to the victor goes the Clipper. He got to shave Vince McMahon bald.
Now let's take a look here with Vince McMahon himself in this one skit in the ring talking about WrestleMania and The Undertaker facing his son, Shane McMahon, who he's having a dispute with at the time, of course, just a storyline. Take a listen to the so-called 3 miracles, the chances of his son beating Undertaker in WrestleMania. Take a listen.
The reason I would be doing that is because hell would have frozen over at WrestleMania. The seas would have parted. The earth would have spun on its axis. The earth would have spun on its axis.
That's a miracle because we know Earth is stationary if you know anything about the flat Earth truth. So they always put the truth in plain sight. Again, in entertainment, just like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to Bray Wyatt and the bogus ball Earth with the X mark right in front of it.
You don't see the curvature of the earth. You don't see the curvature of the earth. You don't see the curvature of the earth. If you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. What's his name? Felix Baumgartner. He would have been
about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't, that's fine. He wants to, I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space. Look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. And then I showed examples of wide-angle lenses curving horizontal. I tweeted that. But I don't want to be a spoiled, you know, curmudgeon or anything.
Oh, how amazed were you to see your roadster up there with Starman just cruising along with the Blue Planet? And how long will we be getting live views, do you think, from the car?
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
So you had a 7.8 quake in Turkey on 2/6, which was 26 weeks exactly from 8/7. You see what I'm saying? And these types of patterns are everywhere, relating to the quake that happened near Patmos in 2020. The Queen died exactly 333 days prior to this explosion. And Charles was coronated exactly 3 months and 3 days, or 13 weeks and 3 days since his coronation. And these things go on and on. But what I came across, what was revealed to me that I'm showing you, is beyond any shadow of a doubt. What we're looking at is, in fact, a manifestation of prophecy, and we're seeing it's being used by the powers that be. Those powers and principalities take God's prophecy and they spin it off of what God has already put forth and will come to pass. So that being said, if we go to the map, this is just insane, you guys, and we go to this grain storage facility in Turkey. It's a town called Derince, Turkey. And this is the port that had the explosion. This is the literal grain facility in Turkey that blew up. And this line right here, I just want to make sure that you understand what I'm showing you here. Directly from the grain silos that blew up in Turkey to the grain silos that blew up in Beirut, Lebanon. And when I say exactly to them, I'm literally being serious. This is right to the exact explosion and grain silo location in Beirut, Lebanon, that blew up 8/4/2020. You can even see all the debris is still in this image. The explosion happened here, and there are all the grain silos blown to pieces there. And there's the end of that line. Now, I'm not kidding you guys. You can't deny this. This is how serious I feel about this. Look at what it measures in kilometers, and then just tell me that this isn't a revelation being shown to us so that we may see and know and build our faith that yes, God is true. Period. His word is coming to pass, and we're watching it manifest before our eyes. The question is, do you know Jesus Christ? That is the most important question you can ask yourself right now. The grain storage also is a figure of the famine and Joseph and the whole story of the 7 years of famine, because we're going into 7 years of tribulation, which will include famine. Black horse all over it. The Black Sea, the black horse, a measure of wheat for a day's wage.
Happiness he turned like a train on a track. Coming towards her, stock still no turning back. She hear around the corner and she hid under beds. She killed with kisses, then for honest she fled. With every bubble she sunk with her dream and washed it away down the kitchen sink. The dark days are over, the dark days are done. The hard days are coming, so you better run.
I'm just saying, you guys. And in that same story of Joseph, after the people spent all their money, and literally says, verbatim, the money failed in Egypt. And I see Egypt as the USA to this whole Babylon system that we're currently in. Egypt is a representation of it. And the USA, because I believe the money is about to fail. And the people ended up having to sell their land, sell their cattle, and eventually sell themselves to Pharaoh into slavery. And guess what they did with them? They put them in 15-minute cities. Well, I put in the 15-minute part, but they literally moved them into cities. So you can understand and see the types and shadows and figures of what we're witnessing now tied directly into Scripture. Because God makes it clear and He works in patterns. And for this to be so intricately connected to 9/11 and be 911 kilometers exactly from silo to silo is beyond my personal opinion any doubt whatsoever.
Footage has emerged of the former Vice President Creepy F. Biden, with young children and with the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. We just want to play these clips and want to warn you that what you're about to see is very disturbing. Now, obviously, the behavior that you're seeing here fits the profile of a obviously nobody out there would take liberties with other people's children like creepy Joe Biden does, and there's just tons of footage of him out there touching children inappropriately, caressing them, massaging them, basically grooming them, and making them feel basically awkward in their own skin. And this is part of the pedophile process. This is part of the virus that we're dealing with in terms of these spirit cookers.
Maybe the heat and humidity has felt a little rough for you. It's been tough on the paws. Hey, it's the dog days of summer. And actually, it's officially now the dog days of summer. They go from July 3rd to August 11th, coinciding with the rising of Sirius, known as the dog star. In ancient Greek and Roman and even Egypt times, they would say that the rising of the dog star, which is the brightest star in our sky, would coincide with that bright, hot, and sweltering sun, making for the hottest months of the year.
I don't understand.
You can't go back to the house, Penny. Okay?
What's happening?
It's all right. You won't be alone. You have Bolt. I've altered him.
He can protect you now.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to sniff mine first?
What?
Not from around here, are you?
Hey, stop it. What? This is serious.
Hey there, are you lost, sweetie? Hey, wait!
No way! Vinny, Bobby, my boys! Would you tell the crazy canine that he's got the wrong cat?
You got her, pal.
That's her.
She's the one.
That is definitely the right cat.
Looks like we're gonna do this the hard way.
Hey, you're crazy, man! Hey, you're crazy, man!
Styrofoam! That stuff, it weakens me!
Aha!
What are you doing? Put that down!
All right, that's it. I've had it with you. Untie me, Pooch. Or I'm gonna seriously wound you. I'm gonna seriously wound you with this styrofoam.
Are you mad? You don't know the power of styrofoam!
You untie me, Pooch. Or I'm gonna seriously wound you. I'm gonna seriously wound you with this styrofoam.
Are you mad? You don't know the power of styrofoam!
Sweet Sister Francis, what did you do to my new truck?
You hold on right there! Oh, golly, Esther!
Both you boys need serious help.
Spicy eyes!
In the Northern Hemisphere. It actually, of course, has nothing to do with the coincidence of the dog star rising in our sky. It has everything to do with that 23.5-degree tilt of our Earth's axis. Summertime is in full swing, so I hope y'all are staying cool because it's been hot, even though it hasn't even officially been the dog days of summer until now.
Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father, run for your children, for your sisters and brother. Leave on and loving behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dark days are over, the dark days are done. Can you hear the horses and here they come?
So I wanted to share this with you and glean what you can, because this stuff is happening. It's important that we are prepared in Christ. You need to be reborn and ready for what is coming upon the earth. That's why we watch and warn, because if we love Him, then we will do His commandments. And He commanded us to watch. He commanded us to pray. So I pray that you are watching, truly watching. Praise God. That's all I got for you guys. God bless each and every one of you, and I truly and sincerely mean that. And I pray His peace and His grace be with you all. Many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God.
Keep the dream alive.